I'm Shehbaz Naqvi from the British Council. On behalf of the British Council and Walled City of Lahore Authority, I welcome you all to the International Heritage and Museum Conference 2016. British Council works in the areas of arts, English, education, and society. In arts, it creates new opportunities for creative expression and dialogue to build cultural understanding between Pakistan and the UK. The Walled City of Lahore Authority is an autonomous body which was established in 2012 by the Government of Pakistan, Government of Punjab, to work for the preservation, conservation and administration of the old city. Ladies and gentlemen, today's conference marks the first collaboration between the British Council and Walled City of Lahore Authority. The conference is a knowledge-sharing exercise between heritage and museum professionals from UK, Canada, Qatar and Pakistan. We believe museums and heritage can play an instrumental role in creating harmony in times of conflict by encouraging communities to take pride in their shared roots. Some housekeeping rules before we move on with the program. In case of any emergency, the emergency door on my right is to be used. In case you need to use the toilets, it's in the wall area. And I would also request all the guests to please put your phones on silent. However, we do recommend that you tweet about our program, about the conference, and the hashtag for this conference is IHMC16. We hope that you will actively participate in the sessions and that this will be a useful learning experience for all of us. And without further ado, I would now like to invite Jim Booth, Acting Country Director, British Council Pakistan, to please come up on the stage and say a few words.
Honourable Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It really does give me great pleasure to stand here on behalf of the British Council, and I'm truly, truly thrilled to be able to welcome you all to this wonderful, wonderful venue. The International Heritage and Museums Conference is something which has been sitting in our calendar for a while now, and now I cannot believe, I'm so excited that we're actually all here, it's actually happening. The next 3 days, I hope, promises to be a really, really interesting and I hope inspirational opportunity for people to come together, to share ideas and to learn. The British Council, as Shehbaz has mentioned, is involved in other areas in Pakistan, in our work in education, in English language, our work in our schools, in universities, and with young people more broadly. But I'm really, really proud and really honoured that we're involved in this particular conference. The whole idea of cultural heritage is really central to our work in Pakistan. And we are, as you may or may not know, we are the UK government's implementing partner for cultural and education opportunities in Pakistan, so it fits right in with our remit. In doing so, we aim to build on the close ties that exist between the UK and Pakistan. We have a great shared history. We have sporting and cultural ties. I won't mention the cricket from the other day. I just apologise about that in advance. Today, who knows? But between our two countries, we have really strong ties, and I think these kind of events help build on those ties. And the remit of the Council is essentially to bring people together to share those ideas and create those relationships for the future. Pakistan is, without doubt, as you guys who live here will know, blessed with an amazing and diverse heritage and history. This conference aims to bring together expertise from both the UK and Pakistan to sectors to actually help support the building a better future for the understanding of that heritage and culture. I'm really, really pleased that we have so many UK institutions present at this conference. And can I just say, your presence alone demonstrates the really broad and deep interest that there is in the UK for what is going on in Pakistan and what Pakistan has to offer. The museums and heritage sites in Pakistan are absolutely outstanding, and they're central to Pakistanis' understanding of their own identity. As we head towards the 70th anniversary of independence, I think this becomes even more relevant next year. And I think that this event actually is a really important staging point for how this is taken forward for our work in partnership with others. Pakistanis have got an awful lot to be proud of, but unfortunately not enough young people know enough about the rich heritage and culture and history of Pakistan. And I believe that actually investment in this cultural education for both young people here in Pakistan and also young Pakistani diaspora communities in the UK is absolutely vital in order to avoid the erosion of this really, truly important identity that you have here. The UK sector definitely can play a role in this through sharing its experiences and its own journey. And as I say, we're fortunate enough to have representatives from far and wide across the UK who I believe will really add into the value into this conference. And I really do hope that their presence and this conference helps address some of these challenges in some way. I think gatherings like these are really very, very valuable. We all know that. But it's about what happens after conferences like these. But I feel really, really confident that actually that long-lasting partnerships and friendships will come out of the next few days. And I think, as I say, the next stage is what happens after this. And it's important that all of us take this opportunity to think about what each of us individually can do to help move this forward. I'm really confident also that our UK friends and colleagues that have come here to Pakistan will go back as ambassadors for this amazing country. Lastly, I think this initiative really, it could only happen through the vital support and amazing support, quite frankly, from many, many others. I mean, I'd like to start by thanking the Alhamra for hosting in this absolutely wonderful auditorium and wonderful venue. I also would like to really thank Kamran and the Walled City of Lahore Authority for their amazing support and partnership with this work. And Kamran, thank you very much. Likewise, with the University for Culture and Arts, which some of you will know is being established in Lahore. Again, brilliant partnerships there, and also with ITU. Of course, really, I mean, there's so many other partners that we work with, and we couldn't do this without that fantastic network and your friendship and your guidance. So again, for all of you, thank you very much for your help. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the Government of Punjab for their ongoing incredible support for the work that the British Council does in culture and education right across the Punjab. And I would extend that more generally actually to all the provinces that the British Council works in and all the areas that we work in. The way we work is that we work through these provincial institutions and federal institutions, and that helps us to work in partnership and to understand what is it that Pakistanis actually really want from an organisation like the British Council. But ultimately, we're here to create those links between our two countries, but the only way we can do that is in partnership, and that partnership is core to what we do as an organisation. Lastly, Rana Rashid, thank you very much for your ongoing support for what we do here, and can I just say to everybody that's in this wonderful auditorium, I hope you have a fantastic 3 days at this conference. Once again, everybody, thank you for your time. Have a brilliant conference.
Please guide us about this Chevening scholarship. Who can benefit from this, and how can one apply there?
It's mainly aimed at those students who want to take a master's program and who can demonstrate that they are of great potential.
So far, how many people from Pakistan and how many students have benefited from this scheme?
We have over 1,400 people who have already studied, come from Pakistan.
What kind of experience you have gained here by coming here?
Pakistan has got a lot to offer visitors, and I'm really glad I've got the opportunity to experience Pakistan firsthand.
You might have studied our educational system. What do you suggest? How can we overcome our problems as far as education is concerned?
Education does make a big difference, and I think, no matter how good your system is, you shouldn't stop. You should always look to improve it.
देखिए प्रोग्राम सिटी स्पेशल हेड ऑफ चेवरिंग स्कॉलरशिप और प्रेस अताशी यूके हाई कमीशन इस्लामाबाद एनडी बेटसन के साथ खुसूसी गुफ्तगू इतवार की रात 8:30 पर सिर्फ सिटी 42 पर।
I would now like to invite Mr. Kamran Lashari, Director General, Walled City of Lahore Authority, to please come and welcome our esteemed guests.
ladies and gentlemen, very warm welcome to Lahore and to this first international conference on the museums and heritage. My deepest thanks to Rana Mashood Sahab, the Minister for Education, who represents the Chief Minister today, and the Government of Punjab. And of course, most of all, to our guests from the foreign countries. This really is so heartwarming to see so much of participation from UK, Canada, Qatar, or many other places. I think this is one of the rare opportunity in Pakistan for the heritage lovers, whom I see in abundance here, and the curators and museum in charge, who are here from all over Pakistan. So this is truly a very good occasion in the sense that we wrote to all the chief secretaries, reached out to all the in charge of the cultural bodies in Pakistan, and I see that all the 4 provinces are represented here, the Gilgit, AJK. So I believe that it is the networking, the linkages which is the way forward. Sharing and partnering, as I keep saying, that the key to whatever little success that we have achieved is also partnering with our Khan Trust for Culture. And the CEO himself is here, sitting here, Sulman Beg Sahab from Islamabad, and their consultants and everybody. So, and now this new partnership that has now begun with the British Council is also a very encouraging sign, and we have once you work with each other, only then you understand each other. And I must tell James and his team, Kevin and everybody, that I think that this does lead me to say that this should not be the first conference only. This is just the first step. Next year we must have another one, and this will be, inshallah, a yearly conference which will grow and which will expand. So let me run through, apart from this talk, I have to make a presentation. I hope I can do it within the next 8 to 10 minutes. This is to share with you whatever here in Lahore, in collaboration with many people, we have been able to do this. So this is, as you know, this is the map of Lahore, and it has 12 gates. This was a traditional walled city. Today the wall is very partially, it exists, and only 6 gates out of 12 are there. Next. So Pakistan, Lahore has a history which is a 1,000 years living history, starting from the Ghaznavid times. So from Central Asian empires to the British and the Sikhs, then we have this myriad of history, the footprint of many civilizations and cultures. Next. So this city in particular, and Pakistan in general, has world-class monuments. The walled city is 2.6 square kilometers. Its population is less than 200,000. And overall, there are 22,000 buildings. We have dealt only with about 1,000 till today. So our claim is not that we have been able to do up the whole walled city. It's still a long way to go. But a good beginning has been made, which you will be able to see. Next. So as an authority, the government gave it a focused, autonomous, status, and it is basically, its objectives are to conserve the heritage of the walled city, provide its planning and regulations, and improve the quality of the people living there. This is a very important aspect, and we have worked more on that than even the heritage, that is, because that makes it more sustainable. And the first project is the Royal Trail project. We call it because that's the area through which the Mughals processions used to come through. That is the delegate, the brown marked area is where we have already completed our phase 1. And on the purple shaded area is where we are working these days. And what we have done is work on 2 elements. One is the replacement of the infrastructure, which includes pulling down all the wires, taking them underground, and giving new water supply systems, sewerage, etc., and also working on the facade of the buildings. The key to this success has been the social mobilization. So talking to the communities, we are working in very densely populated areas, and that's a huge challenge that way. The package 1 included about 670 properties, and this started in 2012 and in 3 years got completed. Next. This is how we have been working. These are the conditions there, and work could happen only in the late evenings, and most of it on the donkey carts, etc. So these are the hydrants and the new, let's say, this underground system. Now this is how it looked like. This is the main trail there. And now after having taken over the project, next, this is how it represents now. So this is a change. You can see that this web of wires, how ugly a feature it was, and that by itself made a huge difference. Most of our work is underground. I can't take you underground, so I'll have to show you what is above the ground. And this is another scene of the street, and this is how it presents itself now. This is one of the old wells there. We call it Dinanath Ka Kuan, and it was surrounded by encroachments. It's now free of that. And this is what was blocking the view of the main masjid, which is Wazir Khan Masjid. And all these shops have also been removed. Tourism and events have been created. 35 local tourists, boys and girls, are today the tour guides, and tour materials and street performers are also part of this. We are on the website and of course available on a call. This is how tourism has grown in the last 2-3 years. So these are some of the pictures of various tours. We have these Ringila rickshaws. I hope our guests enjoyed that last evening. Now this Tonga tourism has also begun. And a yearly feature is photo walks with the photographers all over the country. More than 1,000 photographers come and take part in this. This is the 3rd year that we are doing it. And we had the master chefs of Lahore compete, that is the Khaba Ustad. And by the time the foreigners leave Lahore, they would understand what Khaba really means. I am sure they'll get a taste of it. Jashne Shahi Guzargal. This is just sharing with you that 3 days festival we organized, coordinating it with LLF 2 years ago. And this is some of those pictures. And in the evenings, this place looked even more beautiful. This is the last clip. I think James must have told them that it's time for Lashari to come back. Thank you very much. much. Thank you. Thank you indeed. We take it as a compliment. And there's so much to learn from the guest speakers from the foreign countries and UK. So I really look forward that myself, my team, all the people from Pakistan all over, and everybody, all citizens, so 2 former education ministers are sitting here. Thank you very much, sir, for being here, and of course, Salima Hashmi, and many people I can see. Here is our museum in charge, former, she's also here, and let us all now get benefited from our guest speakers. And thank you to the students also. I see such a large number of people from the universities. That shows that this interest is alive. So next year we will make it a better and a bigger conference. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Fawzia, being here. Thank you.
We have the keynote speech by Mr. Duncan Wilson, OBE, Chief Executive of Historic England. Historic England is a public body which champions heritage across England. Previously, Duncan was Chief Executive of the Alexandra Park and Palace Trust, developing a major regeneration and conservation scheme to restore the Victorian Theatre and Television Studios. He was also the Chief Executive for the Greenwich Foundation for the Old Royal Naval College, thus maintaining one of Europe's finest group of Baroque buildings, and the Somerset House Trust, opening the site to the public. He was awarded the OBE in 2007 for his services to heritage. I would please request him to come up on the stage and deliver his keynote speech.
Minister, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I am fluent in another language as of today. To begin with, I thought I'd say a few words about Historic England, which is a new organisation formed in April 2015. Some of you may have known it as English Heritage. The organisation was divided into 2 parts. English Heritage remained as the custodian of the 450 monuments and properties, ranging from big houses like Kenwood to small groups of stones in the countryside, and essentially has formed itself as an independent charity to run those. And Historic England, of which I'm in charge, fulfills the government's statutory and advisory role to protect all of England's heritage through planning advice, through listing and scheduling buildings and monuments, and most of all through engaging with people to appreciate and value their heritage, which we see as the best way to ensure its long-term future and protection. And that, I think, we have in common with what we've just heard about going on in the Walled City, a really impressive heritage protection project, but which has also engaged with the people who live and work inside the city to make it their project, not just a project that was done for them. Historic England has about 850 staff, 11 regional offices, and is spread throughout the country. But to begin with, we felt the need to engage with people nationally about their heritage, and perhaps the best way of explaining that is showing this very short film, which will tell you how important we think heritage is to people.
Beside and beneath, above and around, cherished and changing. Our place, our story. Lived in, travelled through, settled, unsettling. Our inheritance, our legacy. The land that's stitched and ploughed, bedded down, laid out. Tracks and traces of earlier lives, patterns worn by people, rich seams of history. Market towns, factories, shores and wrecks, lost habitation, memories in bricks, steel and stone. Landscapes, seascapes, cityscapes, our treasures for everyone. When I see this hill and these rooftops, I know I'm home. I love this place.
So the second part of my talk, for the second part of my talk, I'm going to talk about three major heritage projects I've been privileged to be involved with in London. Three great places that were underappreciated, unloved, and most of all had so much to give to people which was not being delivered. As has already been mentioned, they are Somerset House, the Old Royal Naval College, Greenwich, and Alexandra Palace. All of them were successful because we managed to deliver an element of surprise and discovery which appealed to people who came in their millions to appreciate these places, both as tourists and visitors, but also as people who came to enjoy a cultural event, just walk through the place, who didn't necessarily want to learn in detail about its history, but were taken aback by its beauty and what it spoke to them about, the stories locked up in these places, which told them of their past. I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm not quite sure in which direction to point it that way. Yeah, that's fine. Well, we had it for a moment. Let's see if we can get it back. Yeah? Okay, that's fine. So Somerset House. Somerset House was built by Sir William Chambers in the late 1770s as a series of public offices and around a great courtyard and on the north bank of the river, on the other side of the river from Waterloo. It was built on the site of a Tudor palace built by the Duke of Somerset, one of the great houses of the Strand. Later, Sir Joseph Bazalgette built the embankment which landlocked Somerset House. Previously it had literally had its feet in the river, but today you drive past it on the embankment and perhaps you wouldn't have noticed it but for the work we did. It was also extended in the 1850s by James Pennethorne to create a new wing for that most popular of bodies, the Inland Revenue, the tax collectors, and that perhaps is why it had a reputation as a rather dark and forbidding building by the 1990s when the Somerset House Trust took it over and started to redevelop it for the public.